Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching Apex Racing TV, and we are at Bathurst for round number 7 of the Radical Racing Challenge. In the booth with me, I've got the awesome Sam Fitzpatrick, and operating the cameras for us, we've got Samudi Kuma. So definitely looking forward to commentating with you guys tonight. It is Bathurst. It is synonymous with endurance racing, and I think these are going to be some interesting cars to have here on the circuit. One of Australia's kind of most well-known circuits, and actually not one of the permanent circuits. You'll see people's driveways all scattered all around the place, and if you are fortunate enough to live in Australia, you can definitely visit the track in your spare time. Sam, just your thoughts about this track, because it's had such a storied history. What do you think about the track? What do you think about the car combo, and what do you expect for tonight?
It's really become a bit of a staple in this series. We visited this place at least twice in the past 3 seasons in this Radical SR8 machine, and so the drivers, certainly the more experienced drivers, will be very familiar with it. Big opportunity at the slipstream, and of course you've got to be very careful as well, although committed at the same time, around the mountain section. It's a fun circuit in whatever car you're going to drive, and yeah, we usually get some good races around this track, usually some long trains. I think it may be Josh Cam, and I think one of his teammates, and Castles, I think, managing to win last season around this place. So yeah, we'll see who comes out on top this time.
It's definitely going to be interesting. And speaking of interesting drivers, just looking as Greg Seitz makes his way up on the mountain. Of course, he did a superb job of the race at Laguna Seca last week, getting some very, very well-deserved points there. Looking forward to see how the other drivers are going to challenge him. It might not be his favorite track, or it might be. I've never seen him race here, so looking forward to seeing what's going to happen there. Any other drivers that you think we might want to keep an eye on, Sam?
Well, I think Arturus can dare see if he can sort out his qualifying. Will be based on great to see SDK Gaming in this series, who we haven't seen a whole lot of actually this season, but Kike was one of the best drivers in this car, won many races. Yeah, really helped the kind of the Halliburtons and the Barbers as the best drivers in this Radical SR8 machine. So great to see him back into the series. But Seitz has just been able to come out on top, seemingly whatever is put in his way so far this season. So I think the favourite, also Josh Cam as well, who is strong round this track, was running up in second place for most of the race last time we visited it. And currently it is Cam on the top. A few drivers not set some eligible lap times, I think, that first time round. So Seitz is just approaching the line now. Seitz is always a little bit behind the rest of the drivers, so you'll see him pop up on the timer screen. And Ming goes to first place, but Seitz, yeah, does just about eclipse that by half a tenth of a second, which is a very small margin, considering that this is one of the longest tracks of the season. So currently Seitz and Ming, kind of what I expected to be at the front, and also Cam as well. They are the first 3 seeds in this split. But yeah, then Callahan, Pugh's close. But as we always say every single week, the second lap is always faster than the first, so they are going to all have to improve if they're going to get a decent starting place.
Yeah, you must definitely want to get that banker lap in, especially here at Bathurst, as Vieira shows us. I mean, this downhill mountain section is so easy to put your car into a wall. They get the back end of the car stepped out, so you really want to get that banker lap so that you're at least in a fortunate position on the grid. Thankfully, overtaking is a bit easier here. You've got a lot of drafting opportunities, as you can see here on the Conrod Straight, but also then into those last 2 corners, especially the section that we'll see now, the chase, basically the chicane of the track, and then Murray's Corner, the absolute last corner of the track. Very good overtaking opportunity if you can get the car alongside and up the inside. But yeah, fairly long track, 6.213 kilometers, and an absolute massive 174 meter change in elevation. For our American friends, that's 571 feet, which just sounds all the worse. So yeah, definitely going to be a big challenge for the drivers.
Yeah, that's it's pretty crazy. It's the tallest tree in the world, like 120 meters. So, like, basically, it's very tall. You can't really understand how tall it is, but like, imagine walking up a mountain. It is a mountain, and that's what this track is placed on. So yeah, it is mega tall. As Sights goes to the top once again, so Cam was able to improve. Sights manages to beat him once again, this time by 0.2 of a second, so really strong lap time there. Reinhardt's still to put in a lap time. He might be challenging that pole position, because his first lap was very strong. GK Ming, unfortunately, having an issue in that lap. You would have seen on the timing screen the pit lane message came up next to his name, and I think he crashed on his second lap, or maybe picked up a 1x and decided to escape back to the pit. So Ming, maybe a little bit out of position after that strong first lap time, was able to improve. Reinhardt just running a little bit deep into the chase there. I wouldn't be surprised if he's picked up a 1x, but certainly was a bit hesitant to get back onto the throttle, just making that second part of the corner slightly too tight for him. But he crosses the line now. Is it an improvement? It is, and it puts him up into 4th position, really close to 2nd place, and maybe had he got the chase slightly better, maybe it would have been 2nd place, but still good performance from the European driver.
And the car of Vald Petrovic looking a bit worse for wear. It looks like he's from South Africa, so it's good to see my fellow countrymen out there. I don't think we've seen people from Africa a lot in this series, to be honest.
No, not that I remember. Generally, I remember we've had Kumbwali Chani from... was it? God, I kept on getting his nation wrong, actually. Yeah, Chani, of course, raced in the Formula 3 Championship. But yeah, besides that, we don't have too many African drivers, but no, very good that we have got Vlad on the grid tonight. So it is Quick Sights on pole position ahead of Josh Cam. Scott Callahan in 3rd place at his home event, of course. Then it is Michael Reinhardt, KK Ming, watch out for him. Sean Malloy with a stunning qualifying. Great to see Sean do so well. Usually he's outside the top 10, usually 10th to 15th is Sean, but that is epic from him. Clearly knows the circuit incredibly well. There's Arturas Condelis, Lucas Vieira, Robert Woodward, Aldis Putaklis, Tone Ordires. Chris Cash lines up in 12th place. He always seems to qualify in 12th place as Cash. Then it is Friedrich Freckleton, Rodriguez, Kyriakopoulos, Taylor Redwood, Danny Lee starts in there in 19th place. Watch out for him. I think he'll be moving through the order. Borja Zaze, Vold Petrovic, Mike Busson and Johannes Hesterman rounding out the slightly bigger grid tonight. 23 cars, 4 splits, and we were fortunate to get as many cars as we have got onto the grid. So yeah, 25 minutes of exciting action about to kick off.
There's definitely the space on the track for the cars to really spread out, but I think on this first lap it's going to be absolute carnage going into Hell's Corner and up the mountain straight. And then into that first corner, or that 3rd corner, it's going to be very, very tricky as we go into Griffin's Bend.
Yep, here we go then. The lights about to come on. Sights once again from the pole position. And we are away racing at Bathurst. It's a strong start for both the drivers on the front row of the grid. Strong start as well for Reinhardt, trying to challenge Callahan heading into turn 1. Also, Kundelis just trying to get up the inside there of Malloy heading into turn 1. There's a bit of a gap now between 5th and 6th positions. But a good start there for Sights. He's under pressure from Cam, who's deep into the slipstream. We know that the American driver is just going to cover up the inside line for all that he's worth, and that is what he has done. Maybe moving across slightly to the racing line just to carry that strong speed through there. So Sights leading Cam, leading Callahan, and Ming was able to get past Reinhardt in the end. So excellent work there from the Spaniard to move up a position early on in this race. A little bit of too wide further back. That's Chris Cash just moving his way past Aldis Putaklis, who's had a slightly poor start, and also poor start for Rodriguez as well. But this is part of the circuit where you've got to get in single file, because this is where crashes can happen.
Yeah, if you head off that wall, you're going to end up in an old quarry, as that is Quarry's Bend. But especially this top portion of the mountain, it's deceptively tricky. It looks nice and flat, it looks nice and easy, and then everyone settles here into the downhill section, and it just gets so chaotic. As you can see, they're back further behind, someone locking up on the apex. They're just off Skyline. extremely tricky. And now it's so difficult here picking your braking zones on the first lap. Oh, and we've got a spin out there already. Someone connecting there. That's Daniel Lee being spun out, and unfortunately he has to recover onto the track. Very tricky portion of the track. That's in Forrest's elbow. Very, very narrow. Now coming onto the Conrad's. No, sorry. That's through the cutting already. Apologies. Sides comfortably leading the first lap. Doing a very, very good job of it, but he is going to have to hold Cam at bay. Cam is not letting him drive off to the distance, and we've got that whole pack of cars. Just want to check the times, but I think that is up to Reinhardt. Everyone just sat on up to Condelis, where everyone's just sat on one another's rear, and then another pack of cars starting to spread out there from Vera. But a nice and clean first lap, only one incident, so not exactly the chaos what we expected, but still lots of racing left to be done.
Yeah, Malloy did a good job actually there, because he drops quite far back because he was tight into Hell's corner, trying to or Hell corner, sorry. He was tight into that one, defending from Kuntelis. He dropped a few cars lengths back, but he managed to catch up through the mountain section, so good job from him. Orderas versus Putaklis currently going on. I think that's Orderas defending that position. So Putaklis back up into 11th place. He had dropped down to 12th. Chris Catch actually a bit of a problem on that lap. I didn't see what exactly happened to him, but he was up into 11th place. He's back down to 14th. So a disappointment there for the British driver. It has promoted Putaklis back up one place, but yeah, still did start ahead of Orderas just in front of him. Will want to get that position back if he can. As we see Cash at least with that car all in one direction. And I recall, of course, on my way to winning the BSR Radical Winter Series Championship. This was the final round of the championship where I won the title, and I remember just skimming the wall at one point in practice and getting through as in fact we got much more interesting stuff happening on the track. Cam trying to get past Greg Seitz, and this is a move for the lead, remember, but Seitz is going to try to muscle his way around the outside. They are dead level, and still Cam with the upper hand, perhaps heading into the next corner. However, just as getting clear was Seitz, and he takes it on the race line into the next corner. Ming driving in deep there around the outside. Callahan, who was cautious on the brakes, wasn't quite able to pull it off. There was a Spanish, but that was a very ambitious move, and well, that's good news there for Cam, because he was extremely close to pulling off that overtake.
Yeah, and that's exactly the part of the track that we're going to be looking forward for some action. So you could see right before Murray's corner, he was pulling back in. He realized that he was going to compromise his line a bit too much, and he might have gotten overtaken by Callaghan or Ming. Callaghan cutting off Ming there, not badly, but just making sure that he's got the racing line available, as he and Ming are quite neck and neck at the moment. Same goes for Cam and Seitz. And Kirakopoulos, unfortunately, off the track there. And he does look like his car is hurting quite a bit. I wonder if he might have some suspension damage. Zazu heading through the cutting and doing a very well job of keeping his car in nice shape through Quarry Bend. And up the mountain they go. Ooh, very, very close to the wall there. I think he might have gotten a bit of a fright from that, but he's recovered very nicely. He's still kept up his pace. And now we're setting up to go down towards the mountain. And all of these cars, everyone just getting over to the positioning the cars, getting that weight transfer ready, because you do not want to spin out the rears on this section of the track. It's going to cost you at least 4 to 5 places if you want to recover back onto track.
Yeah, gotta be really cautious. But oh, that's a big hit against the wall. That could be penalties there for Petrovic. And apologies, I may be pronouncing Vauld's name incorrectly. Could you enlighten me, Johan, on how to pronounce that surname?
That is definitely not an Afrikaans surname, so I'm basically, your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, so for the lead, Cam has managed to get past Seitz this time, it seems, heading into the chase. The inside line into this final corner. Anyone who's watched races around here in the past knows it's a huge advantage. Really does tighten up on the exit, and Cam is ahead, and that is a big move. And it's not been easy to pass Greg Seitz all season long. Here comes Ming again. Was there contact there between the two of them? They were certainly extremely close. And still Ming is not giving up. He's got a little bit of the side draft. I think that is pushing him ahead. and they're swerving ahead, Sights and Cam, so I'm not quite sure who's got the toe. Reinhardt's got absolutely nowhere to go through wide around most circuits, but it's just too narrow around this place. But Ming is up into third position. Epic overtake right there from him. He had to work hard for it, but I think that's going to be a race-long battle. Wonder if we could go back to the chase from the last lap to see how Cam managed to get that move, but that is that could be race defining.
Definitely, you saw two wide instances happening there. I want to kind of go ahead and coin it quad wide, but you had two drafts going on at the same time. So it was a bit of an interesting situation in regards to Ming and Reinhardt, or Callahan, sorry. And you can see sitting up for the chase. Why didn't you take us through it? I think we might have lost. Go on.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it was pretty good work there from Cam. Interesting that. So it's a dilemma for Sights in that situation. Do you cover off the inside for the King? Do you cover off the inside for the 90 degree corner? And he chooses the inside for the King and the outside for the tight turn, and maybe that was a disadvantage for him. But the toe should still be strong around this track. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him come back later on in the event potentially. But yeah, still Cam leading the way. Sights only just ahead of Ming at this stage. And now the top 11 cars all in a chain. Fantastic to see. Really competitiveness that we haven't seen all season long. Particularly there's a lot of strength and depth around this space.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, and there's some contact with someone in the background there with the wall, but we're currently watching Cam and Sights battle it out all the way up the mountain. It's one of those tracks where people have really practiced this track in multiple cars. I mean, you've got so many endurance races going on, and even if you just look at the informational page for this track, it's the Bathurst 1000, it's the Bathurst 6 hours, the 10 hours, the 24 hours. So lots of racing happening here for people to take part in it. Ooh, and that is massive contact there. That is Ming and Sights.
Yeah, that is absolutely huge for the championship leader, the car number one. And, well, I'm absolutely taken aback, speechless almost, because Greg Sights has finished on the podium every single race this season. That's not going to happen tonight. That car is absolutely wrecked, and it has really changed the nature of this race. You are right, it was Ming also involved in that one. Ming is back to the pits now, so he joins Kyrkopoulos, and there's no way that we're going to see Sights continue for many more laps either. And so that's perhaps denied us a really good showdown between Cam and Sights and Ming for that matter. But second and third positions coming together right there, and just Cam now has a 1.7 second lead.
Yeah, that was wow, that changed very quickly. But that's the thing with these radicals, it can swing so fast in either direction because your pack is so close together. You can just see there through the chase. I mean, you can see what, 6 to 8 cars at the same time, and one mistake, and all of them are getting past. Ming immediately jumping to the pits, and I'm going to interrupt myself here. Woodward and Putiklis in a battle here through the Murray's Bend, and getting that overtake done. So yeah, that's kind of the nature of the radicals. Everything is so compressed, so close together. You can't afford to have a lack of consistency here. It's just going to bite you from behind.
I think Putiklis has gained about 5 places in the last 2 minutes. It's really surprised when I saw him up in 6th position. But some work there from Aldis to gain so many places. Quick shout out, by the way, to Apex Racing Academy, who's one of the sponsors for this series. Apex Racing Academy offering data packs for 29 different cars on iRacing. So if you race, wow, this is very close. Oh, nearly being kind of eaten up into the wall there was B-Son. It's weird how the camber can kind of magnetize yourself into the wall there. Just about managed to avoid it. But yeah, Apex Racing Academy offering 29 data packs. So if you want to get faster on iRacing in 29 different cars, you can get setups and check guides, all sorts for various official series championships, including single-seater championships. You got the Mazda MX-5, for example, prototypes, even the Audi TCR, believe is covered still, and also rallycross cars as well. So do check out apexracingac.com in order to get yourself a subscription. As Puterclis, there is absolutely no stopping him right now. He is looking onto the back of Lucas Vieira. He can see a podium coming in this race. Vieira goes defensive, so Puterclis isn't able to get past at the moment, but he's managed to get his rival offline, goes to the outside, gets onto the curb, onto the grass as well, and does a fantastic job at keeping it pointing in the right direction.
That was an absolutely superb recovery. I just quickly wanted to add it onto the Apex Racing sponsor. I remember when we did the Bathurst circuit with the Skippies, I had a two-page long, that's for A4 pages, notes about the track and the corners and everything that I was kind of able to distill from what the coach says. So it does get useful, especially on tracks like these.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, those coaches are absolutely terrific to learn from. They are some of the best drivers in iRacing. Peter Bayman and Antoine Higlin and Kevin Ellis, amongst others. So yeah, very good drivers to take notes from. As wow, sights are still going. As it well, earlier on I was going on a very boring anecdote and just boasting about how I won a championship once. And I was explaining that one time I ran this circuit, I literally skimmed the wall on the inside at Forest Elbow. I think because the steering was turned, gave me a meatball about half a lap later, even though there was no visible damage. And basically my point is that Sights has got a lot of visible damage. I'm sure he is crabbing as well. I wonder if we get an onboard with him. And yet he's not got a meatball. He's continuing around there and setting a decent pace.
I'm wondering with that rear wing, it kind of seems like if the car starts rolling into the turns, it might actually help him quite a bit with the left-handers. But the only way that you can describe the rear of that car is sad. Insert a Donald Trump voice there, but... And down the Conrad straight we go, and I mean, Sights is just showing so much determination, even though you can see he doesn't have the straight line speed as Petrovic now wants to have, sorry, not Petrovic, Taylor wants to have a bit of a battle with him. But I think Sights' experience in the corners is going to help him quite a bit. It's just going to be that he's going to be a sitting duck there on the straight. So it's going to be interesting to see how he manages the car and how he manages with the drivers around him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about his straight line speed. He's got none of it, and now that he's not particularly past the Hull corner either, he's going to be sitting duck surely to Taylor, but means he's still excellent on the brakes. And so it's not easy to get past. You really need to pass him before the corner, before the braking zone, because he's just going to do that and keep track position. Puterclis. Oh, I was picking up too much. I think I've given him a curse. He's into the wall and he's down to ninth place, and that is, I think that's quite a bit of damage. It doesn't look good for him. Yeah, that's crabbing. So that's kind of, I mean, I said that earlier on. Sight's got a meatball. That is definitely a meatball for Puterclis, and that's a shame for his race to end like that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's actually quite interesting, this portion of the track. If he did that a few decades ago, he would have been running into a kind of banking there. They actually pulled that banking back just due to safety reasons. So Puterclis is kind of using that modern safety feature of the track to safely just pull off the racing line and recover a little bit. I think, no, I think I might be confused. No, he was pulling off. I'll have to quickly clean my glasses before from that. Lots of things happening. Oh, and that is, yeah, Puterclis jumping to the pits. He's had enough. I think that car is kind of kaput. Freckleton in a battle here through the cutting. And we'll see what he's able to do here. And unfortunately a bit slow. That's Cash right behind him. So Cash also looking for a piece of the battle. They've got Murray's corner in front of them. So if you can find the opportunity, possibly. But Cash is also under pressure there from Redwood, his countryman, just behind him. And setting up for a fresh new lap. Quite a few of the field falling out. 3 drivers already out of the race. And I think that is 4 laps, 3 laps left to go.
Yes, not long to go in this one, albeit the laps are very long to go around this circuit. Good to see the pure racing guys of Cash and Redwood quite close to one another on track. Would love to. I feel like Nigel Redwood is possibly the most British name that you can possibly get. I know we have the generic John Smiths and whatever, but Nigel Redwood doesn't necessarily come to mind, but could only be from the UK. Yep, doing well at the moment in 12th position behind his teammate, British driver as well, leading currently, followed by Callahan representing Australia very well, Storm Malloy, having, I think, probably his best meeting for one of these straight-to-field races that I've ever witnessed up there in 6th place, keeping behind Woodward, but Woodward is catching him. No, he's not actually. Malloy's actually being able to keep a decent measure. Still, the gap not particularly big, can't afford a mistake. And then Ordures is catching slightly behind in 8th position. Also, shout out to SDK Gaming, who are the guys who provide our fantastic overlay. This is the F1 template, but there are several other templates. If you watch the NASCAR series from yesterday, you can see the NASCAR one. There's also a couple of different NASCAR ones with the ticker and with the timing tower as well. And of course, SDK Gaming is not just for broadcasting. You can also use it for streaming and as a heads-up display whilst you're driving. So do check out sdk-gaming.co.uk for more details on that as we cut to Freckleton leading this tight pack of 4.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely stressful, especially this part of the race. You're expecting the tires to start falling off right about now, so it's going to be even more of a challenge. I mean, going into the mountain section with low amounts of downforce due to the fact that you're going slower, it's already stressful. Going in with low amounts of mechanical grip is just something else. You can see Cash kind of opening up and losing Redwood a little bit there behind him, while Freckleton and Friedrich in front of him still battle it out. So keeping him in touch with him, but they have started to open up a little bit there to Redwood. You can just see the view that Cash has of this battle, and it's so stressful. He's incredibly close to the cars in front of him, just utilizing that draft a little bit to stay in touch. But now comes the part where being close might be to your detriment as they go down the mountain section through Skyline. And you can see him backing off purposely. He's opening up a gap a little bit. He doesn't want to run into the rear there of Friedrich. And you don't want to block the track here. There's no way of turning your car around. You saw quite a few of the drivers jumping to the pits, and that is for good reason. Now, through the Forest Elbow, and this is where you say you hit the wall, injuring your car, and onto the Conrad Straight. Incredibly long downhill straight, so you need to get that exit just perfect.
I think Friedrich has pretty much nailed that one right there, and he is almost past, but Freckleton with the better line. He does it deep. I don't think that's one that's going to stop. It doesn't. He's onto the grass now. The drivers having to let some room for him. Going off the track there is Redwood, and Uraburo was really coming up to the back of them. Very quick hand nod to Spain bananas of this circuit, denying any three-wide action. But Freckleton actually managing to stay ahead of Redwood in the end. He will be very frustrated with that one because he had to take evasive action from Freckleton. He was re-entering the circuit. Now Zazo onto the back of this, so Freckleton goes from leading one pack of 4 to a different pack of 4. Redwood's going to have a good chance actually by the end of this straight because Freckleton's not covering the inside line. Not a big braking area for this turn 2 with the banking. You can carry a lot of speed through. They're both very deep on the brakes. That was very close to contact. Again, Uraburu tries to make it through wide, but he just cannot do it. And again, they come moments within contact, and Freckleton holds on again. And Redwood's going to have to wait later on.
Yeah, I don't want to be funny or anything, but it sounds like Cash and Freckleton are being chased by members of the Lion King movie. So a bit of a weird one for me, but they're doing extremely well. Uraburu very, very bold with the pressure that he's applying there to Redwood in front of him. You can see just how close he was getting through the cutting. I was almost afraid he was going to make it 3 wide through the cutting, which is a very I want to say very dangerous thing to do, but he knows it's the last few laps. He wants to get his move done as soon as possible. This probably one of the last two really good opportunities that he has, and Redwood being tantalizingly close in front of him. So I can imagine he's got all of that incentive to really get the foot down and really start chasing him very hard.
I think there was contact between Woodward and Odures. Odures trying to get past at the moment. Has Woodward been able to do enough on the exit? I don't think he has. Here comes the Spaniard. And off the side, going to be into the wall as well as Woodward. Huge shame after a really good drive. Was running behind Malloy for a long time. Has made contact with the wall there. I wait to see how much damage he's got. You can see a bit of rear wing damage as well, but I think he's escaped the worst of it. Not a particularly hard barrier there either, thankfully for him. But he drops down into 12th position just behind Redwood, and now Uraburu, who's been denied a few overtakes recently, is going to be able to make an overtake from 17. Actually made similar damage for both of their cars. Uraburu's had some problems himself, it seems, and Woodward not fighting that on, maybe a bit of a lack of confidence in that newly damaged car.
Yeah, I don't know if it's he's just been off camera for the first part of the race, but it feels like he really flipped the switch and just turned on the pace somewhere. Either he figured out how to really milk a few extra seconds out of one of the corners, but I mean, this is the place to be, in the middle of the pack. This is where the action is. As Zazu is also getting in on the action here, right there on the rear of Woodward. And now looking there, trying to get past on the outside. Oh, and down the mountain pass. This is very bold there from, I think it's the Spanish driver. So doing a superb job there. Very well-deserved position there for Boria Zazu.
Yeah, really gutsy stuff on the last lap of the race. Cam has not had a big gap over Callahan, who's been closing the gap lap after lap recently. But he hasn't got close. Gap still at 0.5 of a second. And Josh Cam is going to take another race, but it might even be the championship lead as well, heading his way. Fantastic drive, second on the grid. Josh Cam makes it another Pure Motorsports win here at Bathurst, and he takes it out Mount Panorama. The Australian Callahan finishes in second place, and Reinhardt finishes in a very strong third. Gunter is in a tight fourth as well. Malloy with a fantastic pit, so too Vieira up there in fifth. I think those top 10 drivers will be very pleased with how that race went, because they did get some fantastic results. So the checker flags waving, and Greg Seitz in the end finishing in 15th position. There is some points for him in the Broadcast Championship. That's the main thing that we focus on, where the points are just handed out for the strength of field race rather than the official iRacing week generally. But yeah, still not particularly good for Seitz. He loses some important points to Cam and Candelas in that championship. Yeah, well managed there from Cam, because it's never easy, I think, when you're in the lead round this circuit, to kind of get the balance of aggressiveness and passiveness correct to your hand. I mean, when you're following, it's very easy to, you know, drive it up close to the walls, but when you're in the lead, you've got everything to lose. It's tricky to kind of keep that pace up and keep taking those risks.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, this is the strength of field race. These are the best guys there are that are taking part at that particular moment. So it's just the skill, the difference is not big. So you really need to be pushing at your absolute limit. I mean, it's one easy thing if you're the top iRating in your category and you're just out front by almost a second. I mean, that you can do that closed eyes. But if the guys are that close behind you, if that difference is a few tenths, you need to be nailing it lap in and lap out. So, looking at the results, Sam, do you want to take us through this?
Yes, Josh Cam with the race win, 6/10 clear of Scott Callahan. It was Michael Reinhardt, Arturas Candelas, Lucas Vieira. Really good performance from the Brazilian, and also surprisingly quite a few seeds up there, or high seeds up there in the top 5 in the end. Sean Malloy was in 6th place, then it was Tone Odires, Andreas Friedrich, Chris Cash, Dylan Feckleton, Nigel Redwood, Aldoffe Urabure, Borja Zaze, Robert Woodward, Greg's sights from the lead from pole position, finishes in 15th place. Paul Taylor was in 16th. There was Mike Buson, Vald Petrovic in 18th. Then it was in 19th. Johannes Hesterman, he started last. Remarkable how close the field was. Look at that, less than 20 seconds separating the top 18. Hesterman only 24 seconds back. I mean, usually that'd be a top 10, but yeah, just such a high quality of field tonight. Danny Lee was a long way back. He had a spin and must have had other issues as well. The retirees were Bouticles, Ming, and Kirikopoulos. So we will have some interviews with some drivers now. Just a quick word as well, another one of our sponsors, Virtual Racing School. Virtual Racing School offering over 50 data packs for road and oval cars. They've got some fantastic, of course, setups and track guides, but also in particular their data analysis software is fantastic for you to get faster on iRacing by comparing your telemetry to the telemetry of a pro sim racer. You can really identify where you need to improve on track. So do certainly check out Virtual Racing School to get faster on iRacing. We will have a chat now with a few of the drivers. First up, I would like to have a talk with Josh Cam, who joins us in the commentary box now. Josh, congratulations on another race win. Yeah, you must be delighted right now because it's never easy to win around Bathurst, and you've been able to match what your teammate Ant did last season.
Yeah, I am delighted. I'm really proud to back Ant up as well from last year because he drove such a great race. Yeah, really, really happy with that one, Sam.
Yeah, we saw a very tight qualifying session. You managed to improve on your last lap. You know, you were briefly ahead of your main rival sites, but come the race, do you think you had a little bit more pace because you were able to get that move done? Do you think that was because you were faster, or do you think that was kind of the slipstream effect?
I hope Greg doesn't mind me saying this because obviously he didn't get the chance to be involved in this race, but yeah, I think I've been the faster one this week. That was my worst qualifying by a huge margin. I've been down in the very low 58s all week, so I made a real mess of my lap. I was lucky nobody else bumped me lower than where Greg did, and Greg did one of his best laps of the week, so it didn't give me any margin. But yeah, the slipstream definitely gives you the pace to keep up with people around here, but I think we could see from like the pressure Scott put on me all race how you have to drive so fast to keep somebody behind you if they're in the tow. But I felt like I was kind of all over Greg in those first few laps, which is why I was so forceful in trying to get the move done. So I think I had a little pace edge, but it's a shame that Greg wasn't able to, continue following me, because I think there's no way I would have pulled away and you would have been in for a good race if he could have stayed there.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to ask as well. I think you kind of highlighted it there. That were you able to leave a bit of a margin to the walls once you took the lead, or were you still having to drive at 99%?
Yeah, 99% was exactly what I was going to say, because I had that almost gap to Scott, but he wasn't fully out of the slipstream window, so I was leaving the very slightest of margins, but I think I can see my lap chart here, and every lap from lap 3 to lap 12 is separated by 0.3, so it was pretty much on the limit. And Scott, credit to Scott, who's done a massive amount of practice this week around his home track. He really kept the pressure on, and I had to turn the display off that tells me how far behind he is, because I could see him gaining these tenths down the long straights, and I decided I didn't want to look at it, so I had to turn that off and just focus on the walls, because one mistake here and you're done for.
In the broadcast championship, I believe you are now at the top, which I think would be for the first time this. Oh no, so you were at the top after round 2. My bad. But no, that's yeah, it'll be close basically between yourself and Greg. Is that coming into your mind at all? I mean, when you saw Greg crash out, were you purely disappointed about not having a good race with him, or were you slightly pleased that you knew that you were going to gain back some points?
Both. There is disappointment. About 3 laps later, I scrolled down the relative display to see where Greg was, and I saw he was still in the race, but a very long way down. And it's always mixed feelings, isn't it? I love the rivalry because we push each other hard in these championships. So it's a shame when that doesn't get broadcast, but equally, everyone has off days, and I've missed a round already, so you have to capitalise. And really, that was the main thing. Once I saw he was down, I knew I had to guarantee a victory. So he'll be back. He has great pace on lots of tracks. We're going back to America in a few weeks, I think, for Road Atlanta. I'm pretty sure he'll be strong there. So just going to have to maximise everything, I think.
You got a very weird record with your races in the past where you always win back-to-back races. I think a couple of seasons ago you've won Suzuka and Nordschleife back-to-back,
so.
and then last season you won 2 in a row to end the season. This season you won round 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So next week, pretty much already yours, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't even know if I've ever turned a lap on Phillip Island on iRacing, but luckily, with your blessing, it should be a straightforward win, shouldn't it? I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. I mean, I'm a numbers man, and so I'll be really disappointed if that comes to an end. It's an amazing record because to win all your races in pairs is quite something. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Josh. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, let me really briefly say there was something really strange went on with iRacing today because Nigel Redwood, my teammate, did a lovely 58.8 in qualifying, and it wasn't shown up. He didn't get any 0x's, he didn't cut any corners, but his lap wasn't counted, so I felt quite bad for him today. He started down in 18th when he had the pace to probably start about 10 places higher, so just a quick shout out to him. And yeah, thanks to you guys, as always, for your great broadcasts. It's always fun to watch back, and it's a great job. It's great to watch these races as if they're on TV. So thanks for all your efforts. Thanks for everyone at Pure Motorsport and everyone who tunes in every week and watches.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Josh, and see you back soon.
Thanks, Sam.
Josh Cam there, your race winner tonight. And like I said, I believe the championship leader, albeit it will be very close between him and Greg Seitz. Those two really dominating the championship. Actually, Callahan, to be fair, with that second place, not losing too many points, or certainly closing the gap. So he's gone under the radar a bit this season, but without a race win so far, but not too far back either. Johan, I think we have a series organizer or radical official series radical overlords. Sean Malloy to have a chat with.
Definitely going to pull him in and see what he has to say about the race that we just had. So welcome to the commentary booth, Sean Malloy, and just want to quickly point out congratulations on that 6th place. Started 6th, ended 6th. That's to be honest, that's an achievement in and of itself at a track like Bathurst. Quickly just run us through your thoughts about how the race went and how do you feel about it.
Thanks, Johan. The race went. I was surprised at first. It was nice because there was a long train. I was kind of hoping for that everyone would just, be calm and not do anything silly, because at Bathurst someone crashes up ahead and you suddenly have a massive pile up and you can have you can be driving very carefully and safely and giving everyone space and then still die. So. That's how it was playing out until I think Kiki punted Greg at the cutting, which could have gone badly around lap 5. And I, my own personal race, everything was pretty good. I was just happy to slot in, and I had Michael ahead of me and Arturis behind me, and thankful to Arturis for not completely punting me when I almost punted Michael at turn 1. And then I made one tiny mistake and dropped 3 places. So that was annoying.
That's the big challenge with this track, and we actually saw a few people backing out of battles to preserve a space. Did it feel like if you stepped out too much, you were just going to get overtaken by everyone? Or is it just the case that at some of the corners, it just sets you up for the possibility of losing so many places at once?
Oh yeah, definitely. I could see in my mirror a massive train behind me, and I knew one mistake, could either ruin everyone behind you's race, or dropping a number of places, and I did that. I just put a couple of tires off the track. I had to lift a little bit, and that I just watched people sail past, and it was like, oh well, how am I going to recover from this? And it was just about not making any more mistakes, essentially.
Yeah, it definitely paid off for you. I mean, finishing 6th, that's kind of on the pace where you were with qualifying. So yeah, again, superb. Well done with it. Another question that I want to ask, and these two are maybe a bit unrelated to the racing, but since we have you here, have you got a community set up around these races? I know some of the other ones, like the F1s and the Open Series races, kind of have this community built around these strength of field races, and it seems like you all kind of know each other on at least some level. That you're aware of one another.
Oh yeah. Well, so we've got a Discord. There's about, I think, 300 drivers in the Radical series. Not all of them active, but the link to the Discord is in currently in the new forums, in the latest post by one of the iRacing staff to sort out the new schedule. I think John Aldridge has posted a link to the Discord, or I might have done that. But yeah, there's like almost more than half of the drivers in the strength of field race every week are active Discord members, and we get on Discord and chat during races, and yeah, so it'd be good to have more people along. It's good to have sort of dissect some of this stuff afterwards and get a better understanding of why people, sometimes you make a mistake and the replay doesn't really show your intent, but having a bit of a chat afterwards can sort of be a bit of a soothing balm to some of the burn.
Definitely agree with you. It kind of brings that element of league racing back into it, where on iRacing it can be normally very cold and impersonal. So it's nice actually meeting up with the people that you're racing with and maybe having a chat, having a refreshing drink afterwards. Of course, we know what you Aussies are enjoying. Then I have to ask this question, and it sounds silly, but as an Australian, have you been to Bathurst and have you driven around here? Maybe just going past it, or is it a bit far away for you? Because I mean, Australia is pretty large.
Yeah, I've never been to Bathurst myself. The closest I've got to Bathurst is Penrith, which is still a fair way away. I'm in Tasmania, which is the fair way south, and there's a significant body of water between me and the mainland. But I've got plans to go to the Bathurst 1000, or maybe one of the one of the other events like the Touring Car Masters when they get up there. I'd love to go up there and drive it, but you can only drive it at about 60 kilometers an hour. I think it's because it's a normal road when the races aren't there.
Yeah, it's actually quite scary if you think about the speed limit that they've got on the road, and you're correct, it is 60 kilometers an hour. I'll quickly see if I can find the translation for our American friends.
Oh, it's like 40 miles an hour or something.
Yeah, it's quite slow.
30, 35 or something. Yeah, it's slow. Maybe it's 80. I don't know. 80 kilometers.
But yeah, no, it's an absolute awesome track. Now, I wish you all of the best with that endeavor. And again, thank you so much for the effort that you guys put into this. It's been some awesome racing thus far. And I want to say, especially the last few races have been quite entertaining. The whole series has been good, but I'm going to be honest, it's the first time that I've seen a very, very clean Bathurst.
Yeah, look, as I said before, I was shocked when, after about lap 2, I almost got on the radio. I don't know what was happening, like in the back, there might have been some disasters, but from like 1 through to about 12, it was just a train. I was about to say on the radio, congratulations everyone, because like you just don't see it that often.
Yeah, definitely agree. Then last thing for you, Sam. Oh, sorry, not Sam. Sean. Any people that you want to give a shout out to? People supporting you guys as a community, people supporting you as a driver.
Sure. So someone I haven't given props to, but should have, is Rob Crouch, who some people might know him as the iRacing stats bot guy. And so in various Discords, there's the iRacing stats, and Rob has Rob is also a radical driver, so he is an active driver and participant in the community, but also allows us to use the Discord bot. And I think I don't know how many drivers we've got registered on the bot now, but a significant number. I think it sometimes pushes the limits of the bot sometimes. But yeah, massive thanks to Rob for that, because a lot of people get some good use out of that. It allows you to sort of keep track of your stats, your iRacing stats, in Discord, and doesn't race announcements after the events and that sort of stuff. Yeah, other than that, just thank you to all the regular drivers, and one more shout out or a request to Aaron and Pablo. You've got to come back, dudes. You've got to race Josh and Greg. Come on.
Yeah, definitely going to agree. They are missing out. There's quite a lot of fun to be had, especially now that we're going on. So just a quick look at the schedule while we're here. So next week, Phillip Island, Australian Circuit. Now I've lost it on screen, so let me just quickly search it again. We've got Road Atlanta after that, which is going to be absolutely superb. And then further down the line, down the season, Twin Ring Motegi, a bit more unknown. Okayama, a very polarizing circuit. And then you've got the grandiose Nürburgring. So definitely lots of watching to do as we go along. Thank you so much for your time, Sean, and I hope you have a lovely evening.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for your work as well. Cheers.
Always a big pleasure. Sam, so back to you. I think we have one more driver, but I don't recognize him.
No, we've got a driver from another series, I think, who has decided to hang out in the interview waiting area. It's a cool place, the Apex Racing TV Discord. A lot of cool people. Yeah, I mean, we're here, so I think a driver wanting to have access to that. But no, I think that rounds off our broadcast for tonight. So, our interviews, sorry, for tonight, and pretty much the podcast as well. Of course, thanks for tuning into this event. Big thanks to Virtual Racing School and Apex Racing Academy and SDK Gaming for sponsoring this video. Of course, if you've enjoyed this broadcast, do make sure to subscribe to the channel. We've got lots of other action coming up. We've got Formula Renault 2.0 tomorrow and Formula 3.5 as well, those official series. Also might have the Firing Speed GT3 League as well, which has had some good action so far this season. Spec Racer Ford, I think, on Sundays, and of course there's MX5s, NASCAR is back running again as well on Thursday nights. We had a fantastic race at Daytona last night for round one of that championship, and there's a whole host of other events as well on Apex Racing 2, so do make sure to subscribe to the channel, and of course check out our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Johan Canis and from Sam Kume, we are going to say goodbye, and we will see you next time.